A black Navy SEAL? In my courtroom? Officer Derek Thornton's laugh cuts through the silence. He spots the gold trident pin on Isaiah Owens's lapel. Fake, just like everything else about you people. Isaiah stands perfectly still. Navy suit pressed, hands at his sides. The briefcase at his feet reads, Commander I. Owens, U.S. Navy. Thornton walks closer. The entire gallery watches. Lawyers freeze. The court reporter stops typing. You don't deserve to wear that uniform. His boot swings hard, connects with Isaiah's shin. The impact echoes through the courtroom. Isaiah's leg buckles. His briefcase hits the floor. Papers explode everywhere. Stay down where you belong. But one phone call is about to flip everything. In 3 minutes, federal agents will storm through those doors. Thornton will be dragged out in handcuffs. The whole nation will watch. Have you ever seen a hero treated like a criminal, only to watch justice hit back even harder? 3 weeks earlier. The alarm clock reads 5 o'clock a.m. Isaiah Owens's hand shoots out, stops the beep before the second ring. 15 years in the Navy SEALs trains you like that. You don't wake up, you activate. His apartment in suburban Virginia is small, clean. The kind of clean that comes from military discipline. Bed made with hospital corners, books arranged by height, running shoes by the door, exactly where they were last night. On the wall, a framed photograph. Isaiah in dress blues, the Navy cross around his neck. Admiral Wesley Stone shaking his hand. The date, March 2023. The citation underneath reads, For extraordinary heroism in direct combat with enemy forces. Next to it, another frame. The Navy SEAL Trident, gold against black velvet. Below it, 3 bronze stars. A silver star, Purple Heart. The kind of decorations most people only see in museums. Isaiah pulls on his running gear. Gray Navy shirt, black shorts. The same outfit he's worn for 1,000 morning runs. Muscle memory guides him through stretches, hamstrings, quads, hip flexors. 5 minutes exactly, never more, never less. The front door opens. Cool October air hits his face. The American flag on his porch moves slightly in the breeze. He locks the door, starts his watch, begins to run. The neighborhood is quiet at this hour. Oak trees line the streets. Houses sit back from the road, most built in the 1970s, ranch style, aging but decent. Some have fresh paint. New cars in driveways. Others show wear, peeling shutters, overgrown lawns. Isaiah's been here 3 months, long enough to know the streets, not long enough to know everyone. He nods to the few early risers he passes, Mrs. Patterson watering her roses, Mr. Brooks getting his newspaper. They wave back. Some do anyway. The neighborhood is changing. That's what the whispers say. Used to be all white. Working class, factory jobs, union pensions. Now it's mixed. Black families, Hispanic families, young professionals priced out of the city. Some of the old-timers don't like it. Isaiah sees it in their eyes, the way they watch him jog past, the way conversations stop when he walks by the mailboxes. The community Facebook group has posts about maintaining neighborhood character and preserving property values. Code words. Isaiah knows code words, but he minds his business. Keeps his lawn neat, parks in his driveway, doesn't play loud music, does everything right, because he's learned that for some people, doing everything right still isn't enough. After his run, Isaiah showers, dresses in khakis and a polo shirt. The Pentagon expects business casual for liaison officers. He grabs his briefcase, the leather one with his name embossed. Inside, folders marked Classified. Reports on veteran transition programs. Resumes of former special operators looking for civilian work. He stops at Maria's coffee house on the way to base. The bell jingles when he enters. The smell of fresh bread and espresso fills the small shop. Commander Owens! Maria Rodriguez beams from behind the counter. Her son served in the Marines. Came home with PTSD and a medical discharge. Isaiah helped him get a job with a defense contractor. Now he's thriving. The usual, Maria. Black coffee, 1 sugar. I know. She pours it herself, refuses his money. My son called yesterday. Got promoted. Wanted me to thank you again. He did the work. I just opened a door. You opened a lot of doors. For a lot of families. Isaiah smiles, takes his coffee. Leaves a $10 bill on the counter anyway when she's not looking. In his car, he checks his phone. 12 messages. 6 are from veterans asking for help. 3 are from his commanding officer about next week's Pentagon briefing. 1 is from his sister in Atlanta. 2 are spam. He responds to the veterans first. Always. The drive to the Pentagon takes 30 minutes. Highway traffic is light this early. Isaiah's mind drifts to the weekend. He's organizing a job fair for transitioning veterans. 50 companies signed up. He's hoping to place at least 50 veterans in good jobs. He doesn't notice the police cruiser 2 cars behind him, doesn't see Officer Derek Thornton in the driver's seat, doesn't see Thornton following him, watching him, writing down his license plate. Isaiah's too busy planning how to help people. He has no idea that in 3 weeks, one of those people will be himself. Thursday evening, 8:45 p.m. Isaiah's car rolls down Maple Street, 2 blocks from home. The Veterans Support Group ran late tonight. Good conversations, hard stories. 3 former Marines dealing with PTSD. 1 Army Ranger trying to find civilian work after 20 years in service. Isaiah helped them all, gave them contacts, job leads, hope. His briefcase sits on the passenger seat. The folder on top reads, Classified, Department of Defense, Pentagon liaison work, helping design programs to transition special operators into federal law enforcement. Sensitive stuff. The street is quiet. Porch lights glow yellow. Someone's dog barks in the distance. Then the flashing lights hit his rearview mirror. Red and blue strobing through the darkness. Isaiah's heart rate doesn't spike. 15 years of training keeps him calm. He signals right, pulls to the curb, puts the car in park. Engine off. Keys on the dashboard. Hands at 10 and 2 on the steering wheel. He turns on the interior light, makes sure his hands are visible. The police cruiser stops behind him, sits there. 1 minute passes, then 2. Isaiah watches in the mirror. The officer is on his radio, laughing at something. Finally, the door opens. Officer Derek Thornton steps out. His hand rests on his holster. His partner, Officer Stevens, younger, nervous-looking, stays by the cruiser. Thornton approaches the driver's window. His flashlight beam hits Isaiah's face, bright, aggressive. Isaiah squints but doesn't move his hands from the wheel. License and registration. Now. Isaiah keeps his voice steady, respectful. Yes, officer. My license is in my wallet in my back pocket. Registration is in the glove compartment. May I reach for them? Thornton's flashlight sweeps across the car interior, lands on the briefcase, on the classified marking. What's that? Work documents, sir. I'm a military liaison at the Pentagon. Thornton laughs. It's not a friendly sound. Military? You? The disbelief drips from every word. Where are you coming from this time of night? Community Center, sir. Veterans Support Group. I help former service members transition to civilian life. Veterans. Thornton says it like it's a joke. Right. License. Now. Isaiah reaches slowly for his wallet. Every movement deliberate. Visible. He pulls out his driver's license. Behind it, his military ID. The one with Commander Isaiah Owens, U.S. Navy, printed across the top. He hands both to Thornton. Thornton examines the military ID. His eyebrows rise. Then his mouth twists into a smirk. Navy SEAL. He holds the ID up to his flashlight. This is fake. Sir, that's an official Department of Defense identification card. It's very real. Don't get smart with me. Thornton leans closer to the window. Is there a reason for this stop, officer? Broken tail light. Isaiah knows his taillights work. He checked them this morning. He checks them every morning. Sir, respectfully, I don't think... You calling me a liar? No, sir. I just... Stay here. Thornton walks back to his cruiser, takes his time. Isaiah watches in the rearview mirror. Thornton shows Stevens the military ID. They both laugh. Thornton points at Isaiah's car, makes a gesture. Stevens shakes his head like he's uncomfortable. 15 minutes pass. Isaiah sits perfectly still, hands on the wheel. He knows this game. Make you wait. Make you nervous. See if you do something stupid. He won't. Across the street, a porch light flicks on. Mrs. Patterson steps outside. She lives next door to Isaiah. Knows him. She pulls out her phone, points it toward the police stop. 2 houses down, teenagers appear on their porch. They're filming too. Thornton finally returns. His face shows frustration. Isaiah's record is clean. No warrants. No violations. Nothing. Step out of the vehicle. Isaiah's chest tightens, but his voice stays calm. Officer, may I ask what this is about? I said step out. Don't make me repeat myself. Isaiah opens the door, steps out, keeps his hands visible, away from his pockets, away from his waistband. Thornton circles him like a predator. You seem nervous. Why are you nervous? I'm not nervous, sir. Just complying with your instructions. Guys like you always have something to hide. Thornton's voice gets louder. He's performing now, aware of the cameras. Drugs? Guns? What's in the car? Nothing illegal, officer. I'm a Navy commander. I have top-secret security clearance. My record is completely... Your record? Thornton cuts him off, his tone mocking. Mean. Turn around. Hands on the car. Isaiah complies, spreads his hands on the roof of his car. The metal is cool under his palms. Mrs. Patterson calls out from across the street. Officer, that's Commander Owens. He's a decorated veteran. He lives... Ma'am, step back or you'll be charged with interference. Mr. Brooks approaches from down the sidewalk. That's my neighbor. He's a good man. A SEAL. What's this about? Sir, I won't tell you again. Back away. The neighbors stay. Keep filming. Thornton pats Isaiah down. Rough. Thorough. Hands linger in places they don't need to. It's a violation. They both know it. Clean, Thornton mutters. He sounds disappointed. Then he turns to the car. I'm searching your vehicle. Isaiah's jaw tightens. Sir, on what probable cause? I smell marijuana. That's impossible. I don't use drugs. I'm subject to quarterly military drug testing. We'll see about that. Thornton opens Isaiah's car door, starts pulling things out. The center console, dumped on the street. Receipts, change, a phone charger, all scattered. He grabs the briefcase, opens it. Officer, those are classified Department of Defense materials. You're not authorized. Oh, I'm not authorized? Thornton holds up the briefcase, addresses the small crowd forming. Hear that, everybody? I'm not authorized to do my job. He dumps the briefcase contents onto the street. Classified reports scatter across the asphalt. Pentagon documents, personal letters from veterans, photographs of military ceremonies. Isaiah's fists clench. Every instinct screams at him to stop this. But he knows better. One wrong move, and this gets worse. Stevens approaches. Quiet. Derek, maybe we should just give him a warning and... Maybe you should shut up and do your job. Thornton moves to the trunk. His body angles away from the cameras. Isaiah watches closely. Thornton's hand goes to his own pocket, pulls something out. Small, quick, Then Thornton straightens, turns around, his hand raised high. Well, well, well. What do we have here? A small plastic bag, clear, white substance inside. Isaiah's blood runs cold. That's not mine. They all say that. Officer, that is not mine. Check it for fingerprints. DNA. You won't find. Save it for the judge. Thornton walks toward him, the bag held up like a trophy. Hands behind your back. This is a setup. Hands behind your back. Isaiah complies. The handcuffs click tight around his wrists, too tight. Metal bites into skin. Mrs. Patterson's voice cracks. This is wrong. We're all recording this. Unless you want to join him, I suggest you go inside. Stevens steps closer to Thornton, whispers something. Thornton shoves him back. Do your job or go sit in the cruiser. Thornton grabs Isaiah's arm, walks him toward the police car. Fast. Rough. Watch your head, Thornton says. Then he shoves Isaiah toward the cruiser doorframe. Isaiah's head clips the edge. Pain explodes across his temple. Stars burst in his vision. Mrs. Patterson gasps, her phone still recording. Isaiah blinks, steadies himself, doesn't say a word. In SEAL training, they teach you about impossible situations. Stay calm, survive, adapt, overcome. But they never taught him what to do when the impossible is injustice itself. The police station smells like burnt coffee and floor cleaner. Fluorescent lights buzz overhead. It's 11:30 p.m. Isaiah sits in the back of the cruiser. Handcuffs dig into his wrists. His head throbs where it hit the doorframe. He can feel the swelling starting. Through the metal divider, he hears Thornton on the radio. Yeah, got another one. Possession with intent. You should have seen him. Thought his fake military ID would save him. The other officer on the radio laughs. Stevens drives, keeps checking the rearview mirror, meeting Isaiah's eyes, looking away quickly. At the station, they pull into the garage. The heavy door rolls down behind them. Now there are no witnesses, no cameras, just concrete walls and Isaiah's word against theirs. Thornton yanks the cruiser door open. Out! Isaiah steps out, his legs stiff from sitting cuffed. Inside, the booking area is busy. Friday night rush, drunk drivers, domestic disputes, street fights, the usual chaos. Behind the desk sits Sergeant Morrison. 26 years on the force, black, gray at his temples. He looks up when Thornton walks in with Isaiah. Morrison's eyes widen slightly when he sees the military bearing, the expensive suit, the trident pin still on Isaiah's lapel. What's the charge, Thornton? Possession with intent. Found narcotics in his vehicle. Morrison takes Isaiah's driver's license, runs it through the system. His expression changes when the screen populates. Commander Owens, Morrison looks at Isaiah. When you're processed, you have the right to contact your command through... He has the right to a phone call like everyone else. Thornton cuts in. After processing. Morrison's jaw tightens, but he nods. Processing takes forever. They photograph Isaiah from every angle, front, side. The photographer follows Thornton's directions. Tilt his head down. Make him look guilty. Fingerprints take 3 attempts. Machine error, the technician says. But Isaiah sees Thornton hovering, watching, making sure everything takes as long as possible. They ask him the same questions over and over. Have you used drugs in the past 24 hours? No. Have you ever used drugs? No. Are you currently under the influence? No. I'm tested quarterly by the military. My last test was 6 days ago. Negative. That's not what we're asking. Round and round. The same questions, different words, designed to confuse, to trip him up, to make him say something they can use. Isaiah stays calm, Answers clearly, doesn't elaborate, doesn't get emotional. At 2:45 a.m., they finally put him in a holding cell. The cell is small. Concrete bench, steel toilet. The smell of disinfectant and something worse underneath. Isaiah sits on the bench, puts his head in his hands, just for a moment. Then he straightens. Old habits. Never show weakness. Not in training, not in combat, not now. He thinks about his sister, his commanding officer, the 50 veterans counting on him for the job fair next week, the classified briefing at the Pentagon on Monday, his career, his clearance, his reputation, everything he's built over 15 years of service, all of it threatened by a racist cop and a planted bag of drugs. He closes his eyes, breathes. In SEAL training, they taught him to control his heart rate, to stay focused under pressure, to compartmentalize fear. But they never taught him how to fight a system designed to break him. Morning comes slowly. At 8 a.m., a public defender appears, Lisa Grant. She looks exhausted. Her briefcase bulges with files. She's handling 90 cases this month. Commander Owens? She sits across from him in the small conference room. I've got 5 minutes before court. Let me see what we're dealing with. She flips through the police report, skims it quickly. Says here they found narcotics in your vehicle during a traffic stop. She looks up. What's your story? It's not a story. It's the truth. Officer Thornton planted that evidence. I don't use drugs. I can't use drugs. I hold top-secret security clearance. I'm tested regularly. Grant has heard this before. Everyone claims innocence. Look, Commander, I understand you're upset, but the evidence is the evidence. Best bet is a plea deal. Possession, maybe knock it down to... No. Isaiah's voice is firm. I need to contact my command, NCIS, someone. This is a false charge. We'll figure it out. But right now, the judge is waiting. Bail hearing in 3 minutes. The courtroom is packed. Friday morning arraignments. A conveyor belt of defendants. Each gets maybe 90 seconds. Isaiah stands before Judge Peters. Older white man, 70-something. Known for harsh sentences and short patience. The prosecutor speaks first. Young. Aggressive. Your Honor, the defendant was found in possession of a controlled substance during a routine traffic stop. Given his military training and access to resources, he poses a flight risk. The state requests bail of $50,000. Grant stands. Your Honor, Commander Owens is an active-duty Navy SEAL with 15 years of service. He has no criminal record. He's not a flight risk. He has strong ties to the community. The defense requests release on personal recognizance. Judge Peters barely looks up from his papers. Bail set at $25,000. Next case. Isaiah tries to speak. Your Honor, if I could just... The gavel comes down. You'll have your chance at trial. Bailiff, next defendant. Isaiah posts bail using his emergency military credit line. The money he's been saving. The nest egg he's building for his future. Gone in one signature. Outside the courthouse, reporters wait. Someone tipped them off. Local news. A slow news day needs a story. A reporter shoves a microphone in Isaiah's face. Commander Owens, do you have a drug problem? Is the Navy aware of your arrest? Isaiah says nothing. Keeps walking. Another reporter. Did you use your military position to hide your drug use? A friend from the veterans group picks him up, drives him home in silence. That evening, the local news runs the story. Navy officer arrested on drug charges. Commander Isaiah Owens, who works at the Pentagon, was taken into custody last night after police found narcotics in his vehicle. Sources say Owens has been working with at-risk veterans. Questions are being raised about what else he might be hiding. They show his mugshot, the one where they tilted his head down, made him look guilty. No mention of the questionable stop, no mention of Thornton's behavior, no mention of the witnesses who filmed everything. Just another black man arrested. Another criminal. Another statistic. Isaiah sits in his living room, watches the news. His phone rings constantly. Fellow officers, friends, family, all asking the same question. Did you do it? The presumption of innocence doesn't apply when you're black in America. Even the Navy cross on his wall can't protect him from that. His phone buzzes. A text from Admiral Stone, his commanding officer. Call me, now! Isaiah dials. Stone answers on the first ring. Commander, what the hell is going on? I just got a call from Navy JAG. Drug charges? Sir, it's a setup. Officer Thornton planted evidence. I have witnesses, video footage. I need... NCIS is already on it. I pulled your last drug test results, negative 6 days ago. This doesn't add up. Isaiah feels his chest loosen slightly. Someone believes him. Sir, my security clearance is suspended pending investigation. Standard protocol. But Isaiah? Stone's voice softens. I've known you for 8 years. You're one of the finest officers I've ever served with. We're going to fight this. You understand me? Yes, sir. Stay away from that police officer. Don't engage. Don't respond to press. Let us handle it. Sir, the job fair next week is canceled. You're on administrative leave until this is resolved. Isaiah hangs up, sits in the dark. Everything he worked for, everything he built, crumbling because one racist cop decided he didn't belong. Outside, a car drives by slowly. Isaiah watches through the window. It's a police cruiser. Thornton is driving. He slows down in front of Isaiah's house, smiles, waves, then drives away. The message is clear. I can get to you anytime, anywhere, and there's nothing you can do about it. Isaiah's hands shake, not with fear, with rage. But he breathes, controls it, channels it, because rage won't save him. Evidence will, truth will, justice will. He just has to survive long enough to get there. 2 weeks pass. Isaiah's lawyer files motions, requests the dashboard camera footage, requests the evidence bag for independent testing, requests Thornton's personnel file. The police department fights every request. Technical malfunction. That's their answer for the missing dashboard camera footage. Chain of custody. That's their excuse for denying independent testing. Privacy concerns. That's how they block the personnel file. But cracks start forming. Special Agent Rachel Torres from NCIS shows up at Isaiah's apartment. She's tough, smart, doesn't waste time. Commander, I've reviewed your file. Spotless record. 3 combat deployments, Navy Cross, top secret SCI clearance. Your last drug test was negative 8 days before the arrest. She spreads photos across his kitchen table. This is Officer Derek Thornton, 15 years on the force, 23 complaints filed against him over the years, all dismissed. 18 of those complaints came from people of color. Notice a pattern? Isaiah leans forward, studies the documents. We pulled his arrest records. 78% of his arrests are black or Hispanic individuals. In a neighborhood that's only 35% minority. The math doesn't work. Torres taps another photo. Your neighbor, Mrs. Patterson, sent us her video. We enhanced it. Look at this frame. She points to a specific moment. Thornton's body blocks most of the view, but his right hand is visible, reaching into his own pocket, pulling something out. Then his hand disappears near the trunk. We recovered the evidence bag from the police property room. No warrant needed. Your lawyer's motion granted us access. Forensics found your DNA nowhere on it, but we found Thornton's DNA inside the bag, not just on the outside, inside, where the substance was. Isaiah's heart pounds. He handled the drugs directly. That's our assessment. No one handling evidence properly gets their DNA inside a sealed bag. Torres pulls out more documents. Admiral Stone contacted the Department of Defense Inspector General. They're opening a civil rights investigation. This isn't just about you anymore, Commander. It's about every person Thornton has targeted. Isaiah's phone rings. Unknown number. He answers. Hello? Commander Owens, this is Officer Stevens, Thornton's partner. Isaiah's jaw tightens. I have nothing to say to you. Wait, please. I need to tell you something. I was wrong. That night, I knew something wasn't right. Thornton told me to turn off my body camera, said it was routine, but it wasn't. I should have said something then. I should have stopped him. Why are you calling me now? Because I can't sleep. Because I have a kid. And I don't want him growing up thinking his father was a coward. I'm going to testify. I'm going to tell them everything. The line goes dead. Torres looks at Isaiah. We've got him. The evidence, the witnesses, the pattern. Now we just need to get it in front of a judge. 3 days later. Isaiah returns to court. Pre-trial motion hearing. His lawyer wants to dismiss the charges based on the new evidence. The courtroom is fuller this time. Mrs. Patterson is there, Mr. Brooks, other neighbors. They all came to support him. Isaiah wears his Navy dress uniform, pressed perfect, every ribbon in place, the Navy cross prominent on his chest. He sits quietly, hands folded, waiting. Then the doors open. Officer Thornton walks in. Full uniform, badge gleaming. He sees Isaiah and smirks. Judge Peters takes the bench. Let's proceed with... Thornton doesn't wait. He walks toward Isaiah's table, loud, purposeful. Another one of them wasting the court's time. Should have stayed in your neighborhood. The gallery gasps. Thornton stops in front of Isaiah, looks down at him with pure contempt. A black man in a suit doesn't change what you really are. Then his boot rises, swings, connects with Isaiah's shin. The courtroom explodes. Judge Peters bangs his gavel. Officer Thornton, apologize immediately. For what? I was just... Isaiah reaches into his jacket pocket, pulls out his phone. Speed dial. One button. The call connects. Isaiah's voice is calm, quiet, deadly. Admiral Stone, it's happening right now. Yes, sir. Courtroom 3. He hangs up, looks directly at Thornton, says nothing, just waits. Thornton laughs. Oh, you're calling for help? From who? Your fake Navy friends? 2 minutes pass. The courtroom doors burst open. 4 men in suits stride in, FBI badges on their belts, Department of Defense credentials in hand. The lead agent speaks clearly, loudly. Your Honor, we have federal warrants. Judge Peters looks confused. Warrants? For whom? Officer Derek Thornton. Charges include deprivation of rights under color of law, evidence tampering, falsifying police reports, and assault on a federal officer. The courtroom goes silent. Thornton's face drains white. Wait. What? This is insane. Agent Daniel Foster steps forward, pulls handcuffs from his belt. Officer Thornton, you're under arrest. Hands behind your back. You can't do this. I'm a police officer. Not anymore. The handcuffs click around Thornton's wrists. The same sound Isaiah heard 3 weeks ago. Foster continues. For the record, Commander Isaiah Owens is a 15-year Navy SEAL veteran, recipient of the Navy Cross, Silver Star, and 3 Bronze Stars with Valor. He holds top-secret SCI clearance and currently serves as Pentagon Liaison for Veteran Affairs. He turns to the judge. We have dashboard camera footage recovered by our cyber forensics team. We have satellite surveillance of the traffic stop. We have forensic evidence proving Officer Thornton planted drugs. And we have his partner ready to testify. Thornton struggles against the handcuffs. This is a setup. You're all... Officer Stevens stands from the back of the courtroom. Your Honor, I'd like to make a statement. I witnessed everything. I was afraid to come forward, but I can't stay silent anymore. Thornton glares at him. You traitor. You... Foster cuts him off. You have the right to remain silent. I suggest you use it. The agents escort Thornton toward the door. He tries to resist, dig his heels in, but they keep walking. Past the gallery, past the shocked lawyers, past Mrs. Patterson, who's crying and filming on her phone. The doors close behind them. Isaiah sits perfectly still, his hands still folded, his face calm. But inside, something breaks. Not in a bad way. It breaks like chains falling off. The courthouse erupts. Reporters sprint for the doors, phones pressed to ears, calling editors, breaking news. This is big. Cop arrested in federal court. Navy SEAL vindicated. Caught on camera. Mrs. Patterson rushes to Isaiah, tears streaming. I knew it. I knew you were telling the truth. Mr. Brooks shakes his hand, hard. Justice, son. Finally. Judge Peters dismisses all charges against Isaiah, immediately. This court apologizes for what you've endured, Commander Owens. Outside, the scene is chaos. News vans line the street, cameras everywhere. Reporters shouting questions as federal agents walk Thornton down the courthouse steps. Thornton tries to hide his face, can't with his hands cuffed behind his back. Officer Thornton, why did you target Commander Owens? Did you plant evidence on other people? How many innocent people did you arrest? Thornton says nothing, just stares at the ground. Agent Foster opens the back of a black SUV, puts his hand on Thornton's head, guides him inside, the same way Thornton did to Isaiah 3 weeks ago. The door slams. The SUV drives away. By noon, the video is everywhere. Social media explodes. The hashtag Justice for Owens trends nationally. Within 3 hours, it's #1 on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. The video of Thornton being arrested. The video of him kicking Isaiah in court. Mrs. Patterson's original traffic stop footage. All of it spreading like wildfire. Comments pour in. This is what accountability looks like. How many others did he do this to? Every arrest he made should be reviewed. The police department calls an emergency press conference. Chief Maria Rodriguez stands at the podium. She looks tired, angry. This department has zero tolerance for abuse of power and racial bias. Officer Derek Thornton has been terminated effective immediately. We are conducting a full review of every arrest he made in the past 5 years. Any cases with irregularities will be referred to the district attorney for review. A reporter shouts, "How did Thornton get away with this for so long?" There were 23 complaints against him. Rodriguez's jaw tightens. That's what we're investigating. The system failed. We failed. And we will do better. But doing better comes too late for some. Within 24 hours, 6 people come forward. Alicia Washington. Arrested in 2019. Same story. Traffic stop. Planted evidence. Charges eventually dropped, but only after she spent 3 days in jail and lost her job. Trevor Jennings. Arrested in 2021. Beaten during the stop. Thornton claimed he resisted. Trevor's lawyer got him a plea deal. Guilty to something he didn't do rather than risk trial. 4 others. Same pattern. Same cop. Different victims. A civil rights law firm announces a class action lawsuit. Not just against Thornton. Against the police department. Against the city. For creating a culture that enabled this behavior. The police union releases a statement. We support good officers who serve with honor. Federal criminal charges require a different approach. We will not be providing legal defense for Officer Thornton. Translation. He's on his own. Thornton's lawyer tries damage control, holds a press conference that afternoon. Officer Thornton made errors in judgment but acted in what he believed was the community's best interest. He maintains his innocence and looks forward to his day in court. A reporter pushes back. What about the DNA evidence? The recovered camera footage? The testimony from his own partner? The lawyer shuffles papers. We'll address all evidence in court. No further questions. He walks away. Camera flashes everywhere. That evening, a local TV station gets a jailhouse interview with Thornton. He sits behind glass. Orange jumpsuit. No badge. No gun. No power. I dedicated my life to this community. One mistake and they destroy me? I was doing my job. That guy, Commander Owens, he was suspicious. I didn't know he was actually military. The reporter presses. Would it have mattered if he was just a regular black man? Would he have deserved what you did? Thornton stares, says nothing. The silence says everything. The clip goes viral, too. Another 5 million views. People see exactly who Derek Thornton is. Not a cop protecting and serving, a predator with a badge. Meanwhile, Isaiah's phone won't stop ringing. News requests, interview offers, book deals, movie rights. He ignores all of it. He has work to do. Veterans to help. A reputation to rebuild. A system to change. Justice isn't finished. It's only beginning. The Department of Justice moves fast. Within a week, they announce a comprehensive investigation. Not just into Thornton, into the entire police department. The Civil Rights Division gets involved. They're looking at everything. Traffic stop data, use of force reports, complaint handling procedures, hiring practices. The phrase pattern or practice investigation appears in every headline. Agent Torres leads the federal task force. She brings in experts, data analysts, civil rights lawyers. They set up in a hotel conference room, turn it into a command center. The evidence they uncover is damning. In 5 years, Thornton made 312 arrests. Of those, 244 were people of color, in a jurisdiction that's 35% minority. The statistical analysis shows 400% disproportionality. Not a coincidence. Not bad luck. Deliberate targeting. Forensic experts examine the evidence bag from Isaiah's case. Their report is devastating. The bag contains synthetic cannabinoid residue, commonly used in evidence planting due to its availability and lack of odor. DNA analysis shows epithelial cells from Officer Thornton inside the sealed bag. This is consistent with direct handling of the substance. No DNA from Commander Owens appears anywhere on the exterior or interior of the bag. No fingerprints from Commander Owens on the bag's surface. The report continues. Enhanced video analysis of the traffic stop shows Officer Thornton removing an object from his right cargo pocket at timestamp 21:43. His body position blocks direct camera view, but the motion is consistent with evidence planting. Audio enhancement reveals Officer Thornton saying to Officer Stevens, "Just follow my lead. This is gonna be easy." 6 weeks after the arrest, the trial begins. Federal courthouse, downtown. Media circus outside. Protesters on both sides. Some supporting police, others demanding accountability. Inside, the courtroom is packed. Every seat filled. Standing room only. Isaiah sits in the front row. Navy dress uniform. Every ribbon earned through blood and sacrifice. Admiral Stone sits beside him. A silent show of support. The judge is Honorable Patricia Williams, federal judge. 15 years on the bench. Known for being tough but fair. She enters. Everyone rises. "Be seated. Let's proceed." The prosecution team is led by Assistant U.S. Attorney Thomas Bradford. 20 years of experience. Civil rights cases his specialty. His opening statement is powerful. This case is about the abuse of power. About a police officer who saw a black man and decided that was crime enough. Commander Isaiah Owens served this country for 15 years. He earned the Navy Cross for extraordinary heroism. He holds security clearances most of us can't even imagine. Bradford points at Isaiah. But Officer Derek Thornton didn't see a hero. He saw a threat. Not because of what Commander Owens did, because of who he is. The defense lawyer tries the expected angle. This case is about a mistake, not malice. Police work is stressful. Split-second decisions. Officer Thornton believed he was protecting his community. He made errors in judgment, yes, but criminal intent? The prosecution can't prove that. The trial lasts 2 weeks. Witness after witness takes the stand. Mrs. Patterson describes what she saw, the deliberate targeting, the planted evidence, the casual cruelty. I've lived in that neighborhood for 30 years. I know wrong when I see it. And what Officer Thornton did was wrong. Mr. Brooks testifies about the pattern. He harassed every black family that moved in. Traffic stops, noise complaints, always finding reasons to make contact, always looking for something to arrest them for. Officer Stevens is the star witness. He sits in the witness box, hands shaking, voice quiet. Thornton told me to turn off my body camera. Said it was routine, but I knew it wasn't right. I saw him go to the trunk. I saw his hand go to his pocket. And when he came back with that bag, I knew he planted it. Bradford asks. Why didn't you say something then? I was scared. Thornton had been there 15 years. I'd been there too. Who would believe me? And I have a family, a mortgage. I needed my job. Do you regret that now? Stevens looks at Isaiah. Every single day. I'm sorry, Commander. I should have been braver. The defense attorney cross-examines aggressively. Officer Stevens, isn't it true you were passed over for promotion last year? Isn't it true you had conflicts with Officer Thornton about other cases? Isn't this testimony motivated by revenge? Stevens shakes his head. No, sir. This testimony is motivated by guilt, by shame, by knowing I stood by while an innocent man was brutalized. I can't undo that. But I can tell the truth now. The forensic expert testifies about the DNA evidence, the video enhancement, the audio analysis, every piece pointing to the same conclusion. Thornton planted evidence, deliberately, knowingly, criminally. Then Isaiah takes the stand. The courtroom goes silent. Bradford asks him to describe that night. Isaiah's voice is steady, calm, professional. I followed every protocol, hands visible, complied with every order. I was respectful, cooperative. None of it mattered. Officer Thornton had already decided I was guilty, not of a crime, of existing while black. What went through your mind when you saw that evidence bag? Terror. Genuine terror. Because I knew in that moment that truth didn't matter. Evidence didn't matter. My service didn't matter. All that mattered was Officer Thornton's word against mine. And the system was designed to believe him. Bradford pauses, lets that sink in. Commander, you've served this country in war zones. You've faced enemy combatants. How does this experience compare? Isaiah thinks, chooses his words carefully. In combat, you know who the enemy is. You know the rules of engagement. You know your team has your back. That night, I didn't know any of those things. The enemy wore a badge. The rules seemed to change by the second, and I was alone. The defense attorney cross-examines, tries to poke holes, tries to rattle Isaiah. Commander, isn't it true you've been trained in deception, in resisting interrogation? How do we know you're telling the truth now? Isaiah looks him in the eye. I've been trained to protect people who can't protect themselves. That includes protecting them from people like Officer Thornton, people who abuse their authority, people who believe the badge makes them immune to consequences. The defense attorney has no response. After 2 weeks, closing arguments. The jury deliberates for 6 hours. They return. The foreman stands. On the charge of deprivation of rights under color of law, we find the defendant guilty. On the charge of falsifying evidence, we find the defendant guilty. On the charge of assault on a federal officer, we find the defendant guilty. 4 more charges, all guilty verdicts. Thornton sits frozen. His lawyer puts a hand on his shoulder, says something quiet. Thornton explodes, stands up, shouts. This is a witch hunt! I'm the victim here! I was protecting... Judge Williams bangs her gavel. Bailiff, remove the defendant. We'll proceed to sentencing in 2 weeks. Sentencing day arrives. The courtroom is packed again. Isaiah sits in the front row, not in uniform this time, just a simple suit. He's not a symbol today, just a man who wants closure. Judge Williams calls the court to order. Before I impose sentence, I'll hear from the victim. Isaiah stands, walks to the podium. He didn't prepare a speech, doesn't need one. Your Honor, Officer Thornton didn't just attack me. He attacked every person of color who's been pulled over for driving while black. He attacked the uniform I've worn proudly for 15 years. He attacked the oath we both took, his to serve and protect, mine to defend this nation. Isaiah pauses, looks at Thornton. I don't hate you, Officer Thornton. I pity you, because you'll never understand what you threw away. The honor of serving, the privilege of protecting. You traded all of that for what? The satisfaction of making someone feel small? Of abusing power? Was it worth it? He returns to his seat. Judge Williams speaks. Her voice is firm, clear, angry. Officer Thornton, you were granted extraordinary power. The power to detain, to arrest, to use force. You abused that power in the most egregious way possible, with racial malice, with deliberate intent to harm, with complete disregard for the truth. She continues. You planted evidence. You violated constitutional rights. You betrayed your oath. You weaponized your badge against innocent people. This court sentences you to 8 years in federal prison. You are permanently barred from law enforcement. Your pension is forfeit. You will pay a fine of $250,000 to be distributed among your victims. The gavel comes down. Thornton is led away, head down, handcuffs gleaming. The gallery erupts in applause. 3 months later, Isaiah returns to work at the Pentagon. The veterans' job fair is rescheduled. This time, 52 veterans find employment, good jobs, living wages, second chances. He appears on 60 Minutes. The interviewer asks, "Did you ever doubt justice would prevail?" Isaiah thinks, "Yes, every day in that cell. Every time I saw the news call me a criminal. But I had faith, not blind faith. Faith backed by evidence, by witnesses, by people who refuse to stay silent. Justice isn't automatic. It requires courage." The interviewer presses, "What would you say to people who've lost faith in the system?" "I'd say your anger is valid. Your pain is real. The system is broken in many ways. But broken doesn't mean beyond repair. We fix it by demanding accountability, by recording what we see, by speaking truth even when it's dangerous, by refusing to accept injustice as normal." The police department implements reforms. Mandatory body cameras, always activated. No exceptions. Independent oversight board. Civilian members. Real authority to investigate complaints. Implicit bias training. Constitutional rights education. Community policing initiatives. Chief Rodriguez announces the changes at a town hall. This is a new day. We failed Commander Owens. We failed this community. We won't fail again. 23 of Thornton's previous arrests are reviewed. 9 convictions overturned. 9 innocent people cleared. Alicia Washington gets her record expunged, gets her job back, receives compensation. Trevor Jennings is exonerated. The conviction that haunted him for 3 years, gone. The others, too. Justice delayed but finally delivered. Isaiah is invited to speak before Congress. Police reform hearing. Bipartisan attendance. My case got attention because of my rank, my medals, my service. But what about those without a platform? The Alicia Washingtons, the Trevor Jenningses, the names we never hear. They deserved justice, too. We all do. Legislation follows, the Owens Act. Enhanced penalties for evidence planting. Mandatory federal review of civil rights complaints. Protected status for officers who report misconduct. 6 months after his arrest, Isaiah stands on his porch. Evening settling in. The American flag moves gently in the breeze. Neighborhood kids play street hockey. Wave to him. He waves back. Mrs. Patterson brings over pie. Mr. Brooks stops by to chat about the game. Community. Healing. Progress. Isaiah thinks about that night. The handcuffs. The humiliation. The fear. Then he thinks about the aftermath. The evidence. The witnesses. The verdict. Justice isn't guaranteed, but it's possible. When people refuse to stay silent, when evidence speaks louder than prejudice, when the system remembers it exists to protect everyone, not just some people, everyone. This story is true. It happens every day in different forms. People judged by appearance, people targeted by prejudice, people fighting systems designed to break them. If you've ever been judged unfairly, if you've ever felt powerless, if you've ever witnessed injustice and stayed silent, this story is for you. Like this video if you believe in accountability. Share it with someone who needs hope. Subscribe for more stories where justice prevails. Comment below. What would you do if you witnessed something like this? Here's the final question that should keep us all up at night. If Commander Isaiah Owens didn't have his rank, his medals, his Pentagon connections, if he was just another black man pulled over on a Thursday night, would justice have found him? Or would Derek Thornton still be wearing a badge today? Think about that. And then ask yourself, what are you going to do to make sure the answer changes?